Thank you for joining me. This is my holistic assessment of the older adult. This is Rebecca Shariah for Aspen University, course N495 Health Assessment with Dr. Wanda Fletcher, June 12th, 2023. My objectives for this presentation are to do a thorough holistic assessment of my mother, Myrna. She is 81, lives with her husband of 50 years, has 3 adult children and 1 grandchild. One of those children is a stepchild and 2 are biological. This is a holistic assessment. We are going to also do an interpretation of her abnormalities and coping mechanisms and go through a teaching plan. This is Myrna. Her general health history includes hypertension with hypertensive crises, hyperlipidemia. She had a hemorrhagic stroke in 2009, which left her with several deficits. She got a Parkinson's diagnosis in 2022, and she has osteoporosis moderate diagnosis from 2012. And she had 2 children in 1977 and 1978, both C-sections. For her overall physical assessment, she has some neurological impairments, overall right-sided weakness and tremors, bilateral lower extremity neuropathy. She's forgetful. She has intermittent expressive aphasia, and she has difficulty sleeping. She has peripheral vision loss to both eyes, glasses for distance. She is hard of hearing, diminished taste and smell post-stroke. Her respiratory system is within normal limits. Her cardiac system is generally within normal limits with history of hypertension. Her peripheral vascular system is within normal limits. Her gastrointestinal system is diminished appetite due to the lack of taste and smell. Her genitourinary system is within normal limits, and her musculoskeletal system shows unilateral light-sided weakness, an uneven gait, and she is at a high risk for pathological fracture if she falls due to the osteoporosis. For her psychological assessment, Myrna is generally a happy, cheerful person. However, she does express that her aphasia creates frustration. She is very aware of her limitations post-stroke and reports feeling frustrated at times by those limitations. She reports general satisfaction and happiness within her marriage and her family. She enjoys reading, listening to music, and organizing family photographs. She reports feeling generally content with life, but at times feels a little bit withdrawn and sad that she can't participate in the ways that she used to. Myrna is a very social person. She's been active with a book club of over 30 years, shown here on the right. She loves to plan holiday events with family. She has coffee with one of her friends bi-weekly. She has meals out with her husband every week. She is unable to drive, however, and is limited by driver availability. The challenges with word finding makes her shy with new people, and she finds it difficult to keep up in large social settings and now prefers one-on-one, where before she preferred large gatherings. For her cultural assessment, Myrna is Caucasian. She was raised in the Midwest and identifies mildly with Russia due to her maternal grandmother as an ethnic heritage. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology with a music minor that she is very proud of. She celebrates all holidays as secular with no religious or cultural significance outside of familial satisfaction and tradition. Her culture revolves around family life. Family traditions include baking cookies, reading together, theater performances, and holiday songs. For her developmental assessment, I looked at Erickson's ego integrity versus despair. She reflects positively on her career path, her family, and her hobbies. She reports contentment with general life path. Again, she expresses frustration with the side effects of her stroke, but expresses peace with daily life, but misses having her children nearby. And here is a picture of her husband, myself, and my child. Myrna's spiritual assessment was a challenge. She does not affiliate with any particular religion, and it doesn't draw her in any way. She identifies as agnostic and has expressed an inability to truly know how to define God. She finds her greatest connections in her family, and so here she is pictured with her grandson. At 81, Myrna has a variety of comorbidities, but we're going to focus for a moment on one particular abnormality, which is her gait disturbance, because that is impacted by both her stroke and her Parkinson's diagnosis. She reports that she feels like she is walking on ice at all times. Her ADLs are mildly impaired, but she is still independent. She worries she will slow other people down. She feels left out as she struggles to keep up with groups. Her fear of falling results in not getting needed exercise. A lack of exercise results in impaired sleep patterns, deconditioning, decreased bone mass, and overall increased frailty. In looking at her stress and coping mechanisms with her gait disturbances, I cannot say that her coping mechanisms are particularly healthy. She refuses additional physical therapy. She refuses an ambulatory aid. She insists there's nothing that can be done and nothing will improve. And she gets frustrated, but she won't make changes. She will not take walks with family either. My recommendations to her are to find a friend to walk with for 20 to 30 minutes, 3 days a week, and to try and take walks at uncrowded locations with even ground to reduce stimulus and reduce risks for falls. As a physical goal, I'd really love to see Myrna get outdoors for physical activity 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week for a starting point. As a teaching strategy, I would engage her in planning what activities she would enjoy most. I promote the benefits of activity, including better sleep, mood, and overall energy, as those are the things that frustrate her the most. I'd also emphasize exercise as a means of fall prevention and strengthening, which is high risk for her with her osteoporosis. For a psychological goal and teaching strategy, I would love to identify a hobby for her that has never been explored, something that she's never done but always wanted to help drive a sense of purpose and connect to living beyond meeting basic daily needs. As a teaching strategy, I brainstorm ideas with her personally, keeping in mind her introverted personality, appeal to her sense of playfulness and creativity, as well as her desire to get out of her daily routine, which she sometimes calls boring. For a social goal and teaching strategy, it's very simple. Just schedule weekly FaceTime calls with children. Doing it all together as a family is even more fun, and appeal to the sense of family connection and get all family members involved to plan times. This is a challenge because one family member lives in Germany and the rest of us are on the West Coast. However, I want to emphasize the family desire to connect and that she is not a burden. Emphasize that decreased isolation improves overall physical and psychological health. Here's all of us having a FaceTime chat. As a cultural goal and teaching strategy for that, I would recommend that Myrna and her husband take a trip to an art museum once a month. This is something that they always enjoyed and took us to as a family when we were children. I want to appeal to the idea that participating in stimulating activities helps improve cognitive abilities and just improves quality of life. As a developmental goal and teaching strategy, I would love to see Myrna write out memories to share with us, her children. I would invite her to tell stories in response to short prompts, such as recalling a favorite memory with a childhood best friend or even a first date. Storytelling connects us with the history of our lives. It invites reflection. If writing is too much, I can offer the option to record her instead. But Myrna has a lot of stories to share. She's told some of them several times, but I'd love to hear the ones I'd see them written down that she doesn't always share so often, and have her reflect on all of the beautiful things that she's done with her life. As a spiritual goal, I would encourage Myrna to spend 30 days outside observing nature. This is a park close to my parents' home where we used to go as children and feels far away from the hustle and bustle of the town. I want to appeal to the improvement in overall quality of life. Time in nature has been shown to boost motivation and mood. As an overall evaluation plan, I just want to ask Myrna what her priorities are. What of all of these interventions work for her the most? What activities gave her the most satisfaction? Even just using a basic Likert scale to rate the improvement each goal contributed to her life, her quality of life, her physical, mental, emotional well-being. I want to hear Myrna verbalize how she felt each goal did or did not improve her quality of life. Overall, my mom has gone from someone who was very active and social to someone who's become somewhat more withdrawn and unable to participate in life the way that she did before. Like many older adults, she has not been able to participate in life the way that she once was. She's also firmly entrenched in the idea that she's doing everything she possibly can for herself, when honestly, that's not true. Changing her mind about these things is a challenge in and of itself, but creating a concrete plan that I can go through with her and evaluate gives her something to invest in and invest herself in, hopefully improving her overall quality of life and enjoyment in the time that she has.